Fathers, do you ever feel like you're more biased towards your sons than you are your daughters? Or in other words, do you feel like you spend more time and effort with your sons than you do your daughters? Listen, I'm curious to know. This has been heavy on my mind for quite some time, and I'm curious to see what you all have to say about it. So for me, say for example, let's just talk about three things here. So I know for me as a father, I get excited when it comes to extracurricular activities for my sons. So whether that's like hanging out with their friends, whether that's playing sports, whether that's talking about girls or whatever the case may be. So say for example with the sports thing, like I get overly excited about it. Like I'm so pumped up the day before, the week of, not so much as practice. Like I drop them off, I'll pick them up. We talk about, what things that they need to work on inside the car, how was practice. We do all that. But on game day, like I am jacked to the max. Fathers, I know you can relate to this. So in the car, what are we doing? We're giving them pep talks. Depending on what sport it is, uh, kind of dictates how aggressive we are. So say for example, for football, I know with me and my boys, y'all know how I go with football. You have to be tough out there. So we're a little bit more assertive when we talk to them during the pep talk or the ride over to the game or to the field. So for me, I'm pumping them up. Right, I already stopped and got your Gatorade. You got all the latest equipment on, because I know my sons get busy, right? So I buy them all that stuff. They've already shown and proved that they can, max out on the field. They can do what they need to do. So they have all the latest equipment. I'm talking about the flies cleats. I'm talking about the headbands, the shields on the face mask, the whole nine. We got them. I'm pumping them up. We're listening to their favorite music on the way over to the field. I'm telling them, listen, don't let nobody do this. Make sure you do this. We're just pumping them up, right? Now flip it over to my daughters. Now my older daughter, she did play sports. Now we were able to develop a connection and a great rapport with each other during her season. She played basketball, right? That's the sport that I played. So I was able to talk to her. We was able to build rapport. I had a great relationship with my daughter. Daughters are different when it comes to sports. Like they can talk it out. Like it's no, they compete at a different level. I'll just put it like that. But it was a beautiful relationship that we had. Now, I was excited because she was playing a sport that I love. Like the game of basketball, for those of you who know me, that's the game that hurt my heart. I still love it to this day. I still coach it to this day, but that's the game that like completely broke my heart. So when she reintroduced it back to me via her playing the actual sport, I was excited. So I was able to pump her up. I was able to get excited with her, give her the pep talk. She's actually the originator of the pep talk that we do as a family now. Now, let's go on to my youngest daughter. Now, she doesn't play a sport per se, but for the sake of this video, we're going to call dancing a sport. However, with this sport, it needs to be known that I've never played this sport before. Okay, so let's just look at it like that. And so I don't know how to pep talk her. I don't know how to motivate her before, I guess, dance practice. I don't know how to motivate her before a dance recital. And so I find myself not having the same type of energy or enthusiasm with my daughter who dance rather than, or like it's different than my boys when they're playing baseball or football or basketball. And I'm just curious as to why that is. Are there other fathers out there that's going through the same thing? Like, talk to me. Leave it down there in the comment section. Because for me, like, it's upsetting, and I don't know how it's affecting her. But I hope she doesn't think that I'm not in tune with her, or I'm not proud of her, or I'm not excited about the things that she does. Okay? Because I want her to know, and I know she's watching this video, I'm definitely proud of you. I'm just trying to figure out a way how to connect with you via the dancing. And that's not all she does. Eventually, she's going to get in volleyball. Eventually, she's going to get in tennis. Now, those are, I would consider sports, right? I've never played them before, so I'm still probably going to be that disconnect there, but I'm going to do everything in my power in terms of like research, right? Let's go look it up. Let's see what the actual matches consist of. Let's see what the vibe is. Let's see like how to keep score. Let's see what we need to do. Are the fans naturally aggressive, or how does this work? So Daddy's definitely going to figure it out. But what I've noticed about myself is that it's easier for me to innately be more enthusiastic about the things that my boys are doing as it is, or rather than my girls, if that makes sense. And I know I'm not the only dad out there that feels like that. I might be the first one to say it, right? But I'm sure it's on a lot of you all mind out there. I'm just curious to see what you have to say about it, okay? And then transitioning over to just say like guidance. I noticed this about myself with my boys. My guidance is totally different. It's straight mental with my boys. Like I just tell them raw and uncut of what it is, like how they should handle themselves in society. My whole motto is this, and this is for all my children, but specifically my boys, or I don't even need to say that, but it's for all my children. I raise them to be an asset in society as opposed to a liability. Now, what does that mean in terms of guidance? Like, I just give it to them raw and uncut. Well, my boys, I let them know, here's what you can expect as an African-American male growing up in this type of society. So I don't lead them down the road of fear, but I just tell them how it is or what they can possibly expect if they're ever in these certain type of situations and how to conduct and handle themselves in these type of situations, right? I just give it to them raw and uncut. I don't play with them. It's not a laughing matter to me. I just don't want to play those games. I never want to be the father. And listen, my condolences to any dads out there. I know Gilly just lost his son. Probably, listen, I know it. I understand. So I never want to be that dad that loses his son to just say whatever type of brutality, something that happens in the streets. I just don't want to be that type of guy. And so I teach my sons, you know, how to conduct yourself, how to handle yourself, how to be aware of your surroundings, knowing your bearings. I just teach them those type of things. Now flip it over to my daughters. I'll be honest with you all, and some of you all are going to say I'm wrong for this, but I give them way more opportunity to mess up than I do my boys as it relates to guidance. That's just who I am. I want my daughters to understand that they can be independent and they don't have to be dependent on anything. Now, I get it. It's going to be a lot of guys out there, probably females out there, that's saying I'm raising those type of females. And we know what type of females that we're talking to without even us happening to go down that rabbit hole. But what I mean by that is when I tell them that they can be independent, it's just more so I want you to be able to bring something to the table when you do finally go off and get married. That's all I'm saying. That's it. You don't ever have to do it on your own. I tell my daughters that all the time. As long as daddy is alive, you know, you're not ever alone. I don't care what you're going through, what you're trying to figure out by yourself. Like, you don't have to do it. Daddy is always here. And I tell them also, like, there's no amount of wrong that you can do that will make me ever give up on you. Like, I'm just not that type of father. And that's to all my children. But I tell my daughters that more often than I do my sons, and maybe I should tell them that more. But as you can see, as it relates to guidance, like, I'm way more lenient with my daughters. Like, I actually want them to go out there and mess up so they can just bring it back to me and we can talk about it, or bring it back to their mom and we can talk about it. My boys, it's a little bit different with them. Like, I'm just straight, raw and uncut, straight to the point. Like, I don't play with them at all. That just transition over to discipline. With them, like, they don't get an opportunity to slip up too much. They just don't. I'm not raising them like that. Like, because I understand me growing up in this society as an African-American male, one false move in this society can ruin your whole life. Like, literally. Like, you don't get opportunities to make mistakes. Whereas, you know, as a female, you get a lot of opportunities to make mistakes, and then sometimes the government to help you to correct them. You have more of, just say, resources that you can not necessarily depend on, but you can go after or in search of to help change around your situation if you do have a slip up or you do make a mistake in society. Not so much for men, right? We don't really have that that team that we can go through that's going to motivate us and put us back together and put us back out there anew, right? As opposed to a female, she has a great type of situation around her, from her friends, her families, and probably her co-workers, the assistance from the government, all type of grants. It's just a bunch of like stuff that she can do in order to, I guess, rectify the problem that she may have created on her own. And so with me, with them, again, I just give them way more leeway. I just do. Like, that's just who I am as a dad. I know it seems weird, but I don't know. And I guess that's why I posed the question, are we biased dads? Like, what is the matter with us? Is it more so that we are living vicariously through our sons because we actually know what it looks like or what it feels like to walk in their shoes? Is that what we're doing? I need somebody to explain it to me. I'm not saying that, you know, I don't make mistakes in regard to, you know, raising my children. I know that there's room for growth there, and I'm ready to grow. I just want to be a little bit different with my daughters. I feel like I'm not as connected with them per se, and only because I'm not a female. And I know that sounds weird, but maybe I'm not articulating my thoughts in a fashion to which you all can understand. But fathers, I know I'm not the only dad out there that feels this way. So I need somebody to chime in. I need somebody to leave something in the comment section. If you have sons, if you have a son, if you have daughters, if you have a daughter, let me know. How do you juggle between the two? Are you just that softy when it comes to your daughters? Are you just that authoritative figure when it comes to your sons? Let me know how this works. I want to be balanced with both. You know what I mean? But we do have some dads out there that'll give it to their daughters harder than they would give it to their sons. Now, I don't understand how that works. Me, I'm just a little bit more gentle, and I don't want to raise like a rough and rugged like type female like that. That's just not what. That's not conducive to how I live. So I don't know how that would make sense in my life going about it in that fashion. And I never seen like the man in my family raised daughters like that. They were very like gentle with them. They always say like when you become a girl dad, it changes something in you. It changes the temperament in you. It makes you more patient. It makes you more, I guess, what is the word that I'm looking for? Express your emotions a little bit more, as opposed to when you have all boys, you can stay in that like hardened type shell. But I honestly do believe that we are biased towards our sons than our daughters. I just believe that, and I don't know why. Is it just something intrinsically in us because we were in their shoes before? I don't know why. I'm just trying to figure out, can we find some possible answers to that question? So let me know what you all think about that. All right, leave a comment down there in the comment section. Make sure you all hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and make sure you hit the share button so we can continue to push this message forward. All right? Fathers, continue to do what you do best, and that is being great fathers. Black Father Syndrome.